This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lech Deich Maser podcast. We continue with the Pele Yoeitz. We are on page 105 in the Art Scroll, day 46 of Hachzik. So we're in the sugya over here of Emunah, of faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as we keep on saying the beautiful words of the Pele Yoeitz, Emunah hi haisa l'reish pina. Faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the cornerstone of Avodas Hashem. And now we are going to continue the shorish hakol hamin b'chol divrei HaTorah b'chol divrei seifrim. Now the foundation of everything is to firmly believe in everything the Torah tells us, as well as all of the teaching of Chazal. And if one comes across something his mind cannot understand, cannot accept, he should attribute this to the lack of his knowledge and limited understanding. He shouldn't say the Torah Chas v'Shalom or the Chazal isn't true. He should just say that there's a deficiency, there's a lack of sophistication, of comprehension in my own understanding. And of course, Moshe emes v'sarasei emes, amnam yamin b'emunah shleima shekol divrei chayim v'kayomim v'ne'emanim la'adol olam u'la'olmei olamim. And he must believe with complete emunah that all the words of the Torah and Chazal are truthful forever and ever. Come and see how great the words of Chazal are. For they have taught us that the entirety of the Torah is included and contained within the attribute of Emunah. And many people claim to be believers, the maminim b'nei maminim, son of believers, with their mouths, but it's what we call echad be'peh ve'echad b'leiv. Say one thing with your mouth, but there's one thing in your heart. And their actions show otherwise, and the reality of actions wipes away one's verbal claims. If you're not a maimin, not just in your mouth, but in your heart as well, then it's a wash. What's in your heart overpowers. Hashem will bring the one who walks in darkness to judgment for all of his misdeeds. And aside from the punishment of the averis that this person committed, he will also surely be punished for being of those lacking emunah. Or even worse, if he does truly believe in Hashem, and the obligation upon him, he believes to follow in Hashem's ways, but he nevertheless doesn't care enough to follow the proper path. This is the highest level of brazenness, and he will be punished severely for his rebelliousness. Meaning the higher person claims in his mouth and his heart that he believes that he's a maimin, but he doesn't execute properly, he doesn't execute as he says, as he believes, the avera, the attribution, is going to be so much more. Now the Pele Yoeitz notes that having emunah in Hashem is not worthwhile or advisable. A nice extra credit, like I can be a good yid and it's also good to believe in Hashem. No, it's part and parcel. It's a tzivah in the Torah, and it defines our entire avodah of being a yid. These directives to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem exists, and to put faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's providence, are one of the 613 mitzvahs. The mitzvahs to dirois she'achol lekayim b'chol eis b'chol rega yedei zechir levad. And the opportunity, the ability to remember Hashem is one of the mitzvahs. Tediris is one of the constant mitzvahs that a person can fulfill at any given moment through recollection of these matters alone. So we're saying over here is that bitachon, emunah, isn't just a recommendation, it's not a suggestion, it's part and parcel of being an Eved Hashem. And not only that, but it's a mitzvah timidis. It's a mitzvah that we can accomplish. It's a mitzvah that we can be mekayim, fulfill at any given moment. What does it mean every given moment? It means besides davening, besides when I'm learning Torah, we can be Mekadesh, we can uplift, we can enrich any moment, bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu into the equation. I was once tucking my children, my son and daughter, for the night into bed, and it was around the elections, most recent elections in 2024. And we were talking about world events. Even amongst young children, there's a buzz about the elections, about the President of the United States of America. And my son, who is older than my daughter, he said, there's Donald Trump, and there's Biden, and going back and forth, who's going to win? It was post-elections, and already Donald Trump won. And my daughter asked my son, okay, so who won? And my son said, well, based on the current, Donald Trump won the election. So my daughter said, so what does that mean? He's the president of the world. And my son said, no, not the entire world. He's the president of the entire United States of America. 50 states. My daughter was processing that, thinking 50 states, United States of America. And she said, Aaron, you're wrong. Donald Trump is not the president of the United States of America. And my son looked and said, no. Donald Trump is, right, Abba? And I said, right, Lele, yeah. Donald Trump is the president of the entire United States of America, all 50 states. And she said, no. Hashem is the president of the United States of America. Donald Trump helps him. Donald Trump is called the president, but the real president, the shalit, the overseer, the real one in charge is Hashem, and also Donald Trump. That's mitzvahs tediris. That's bringing Emunah into any second, to any moment, in the most mundane times. We can be mekadesh them, and Hashem's looking out. Where are you bringing me? It could be to bedtime, to the office, in traffic, in your bed, walking to shul, taking a stroll, whatever it is you may be doing. Are we thinking about Hashem? Are we thinking about His dominion, about His shlita on the entire world? Are we remembering that this is a mitzvah to always be reminded and have certainty? L'hamid b'metzias Hashem, to remind ourselves and put faith that there's an actual metzias, a reality of Hashem, u'l'hamid mashkachasai, and to remind ourselves and know with certainty that He is the mashgiach, He is in charge of everything. That's Emunah, and that's what it means to bring Him everywhere. We can't forget Him in our hearts. It's not enough just to be in the mouth. A Jewish person who is a faithful servant of Hashem should certainly make it habit to say, why is it that you, my Yitzhahar, continually pursue me to make me do Averis? I believe in Hashem. In all aspects and the fine details of life. Umar al kol dehu davar ra afilu asicha kalav al kol machshava ra. Hashem is mashgiach on everything, on every small thing, on every bad machshava, on any dibura. Hine kichin royally lasis kach v'kach u'lisnag b'derech zeh b'oifen zeh. And therefore it makes sense for me. I'm always mechazing myself with these words of Hashem is listening to every last thing. He sees, He hears. And therefore, it makes sense for me to know my place and do exactly like this and that, and to know that I must act in a way that is bakavadik and proper, being aware of the King at all moments of life. And therefore, and according, I shall live my life because of this, in accordance with the Torah, and to refrain from improper deeds, and be careful and vigilant to avoid any temptations. I try my best until all my ways will be pure and upright and devoted to Kadosh Baruch Hu, both in thought, in words, in actions. And Naftal v'ikesh kedei shalitei emunasi koizeves, without any crookedness or straying from the proper derech. Kocha esev v'le'ashane, and this is what I shall do, and I shall not be deterred from this. V'chazois v'chazois hachayiten aliba v'yasmi machshavtoi, and thoughts like this, these spurts, these bursts of self-chizik, of inspiration, will be mechazik me, and they will shape the way I act, the way I live, and I'll take them to heart and contemplate them constantly. V'yamik bala arko l'rachba l'leches b'shvili Emunah, and spend time plummeting the depths and discover all of the angles of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, of his hashgacha, so that you should travel always holding on tight in his fist, in his mind, in his heart, in his brain. The concept of Emunah, that Hashem is everywhere. And if he succeeds in maintaining this constant awareness, his actions will then be faithful, performed by hands of conviction, of certainty, as they were when he was birthed by Hashem. And then his faith that he's worked on, that he's perfected, will be sufficient to merit him a true place in Olam Haba. And the main goal, the objective, the central focal point of all of this is that one must strive to cultivate true Emunah in Hashem, and his goal in all that he does should be to bring nachas ruach li'etzenu, to bring satisfaction to the one who dwells up high.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.